ones that I haven't parroted myself. Uh, I speak what we call the English language. I was taught the English language in schools where the teacher said, we are going to teach a language called English, and you will do your best to learn that language. And so I sat there and did my best. So I'll just deal with the word parroting. If I'm speaking and using what is called the English language, is, aren't, sky, moon, lamp, scissors, clock, telephone, cell phone. These are words I've heard used. So if a person says parroting, what does that mean? Meaning repeating something I've heard? Yes, I repeat things I've heard. Most people that I encounter repeat things that they have heard. Most of the things that they say are repeated things, particularly when it comes to the use of words. If they are speaking in the English language, what is called the English language, I was told that that's what it is, so I'm parroting that, if you want to use the term parroting. Whatever words I use, the English language. But words are tools. Words are tools in order to communicate ideas, concepts, to identify things. Picture, chair, table, wall, frame, radio, lamp, book. These words identify things, or used. They're just tools to identify things. Material objects and or ideas, abstractions of certain kinds, whatever. Even the word abstraction, I was taught that word. I didn't coin that word, but even if I had, all I'm doing is trying to communicate. It depends on what the person is trying to communicate, trying to interact with someone by using a word. To identify a river as different from the sky or a cloud or a tree or a rock or a bird. A bird is still a bird, regardless of what you call it. But if there isn't some type of mutual agreement between people that a bird is a bird, and you describe in words what a bird looks like, what a bird does, then people are not communicating about birds. I think that's the concept of language. That's the purpose of language. Unless I've been misinformed. Well, the word fair is very prominent in the system of white supremacists' language style. Fair is associated not only with lightness or whiteness, but fair is also associated with a word that comes nowhere close to sounding like or even rhyming with fair or lightness. And that is the word justice. People say, well, you're not treating me fair or fairly. There's no fairness here. And by the same token, they can substitute the word fair, replace it with the word justice, and it will fit right in. There's no justice here. There's no fairness here. Fair is associated with the word justice, meaning light, bright, fair. Fair is associated with lightness, whiteness, brightness, and then you jump to justice. So you put the terms together, all together, in the same category. And that supports thought, speech, and action that is supportive of the concept of white supremacy. It's a very cleverly thought out design. And people automatically think in terms. My fair lady. You think automatically of something white, something light, bright. Also, bright is considered right along with fair. Bright is sometimes considered not just talking about a light in the sky, a bright star or something like that, but also brightness in being able to learn. Whereas being able to learn has nothing to do with the word bright. They'll say a bright student. That's a bright student. Meaning what? The person is able to learn a lot of things very efficiently and does learn a lot of things efficiently. And then if you say the bright student is very fair in how they interact with other people, now you're really piling it on. And so when you see someone, then you associate the word bright and fair with white. Then when you see a white person, you say, now there is a fair person who is bright. And there is a bright person who is fair. And that bright person who knows a whole lot will also do justice. Because you immediately think in terms of justice. So it all very carefully, very cleverly is woven together so that you get that effect. Whether you started out to get it or not. And I tend to believe that somebody started out to get it, because that is the result. And the white supremacists do like results in what they do. They always want to know in advance, before they make a move, what the result is going to be. Who's going to benefit the most? That is the mind of a person who believes in the system of white supremacy. They craft their language to fit what they intend to do. And the victims of racism should be aware of it in order to counter that way of doing things and replace it with a better way of doing things, which theoretically would be a system of justice, meaning, according to compensatory logic and the definition that I have in the definitions book, 2 parts: guaranteeing that no person is mistreated and guaranteeing that the person that needs help the most gets the most constructive help. Until we come across with a better definition for justice, I think that one will hold up on the most stress tests.